All right. We are live. For anyone who has not seen the game yet, we are working on a survival game in Godot. It is a kind of low poly looking crafting and survival game where you travel around on a kind of walking mountain sort of deal. And you can build a base on top of said mountain. I'm going to have to rework everything to do with this mountain. I'm also not a fan of this jittering on the preview. If you make them stop, then it's not as bad. Yeah. But yeah, basically this is it. We got these sort of island things that are going to be where you do most of your mining and stuff for resources. Ooh, looks like I'm passing through that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here's one of the glitchy things that I need to fix. Why can't I jump through these anymore? Well, whatever. We do need to rework how the mountain works. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change. But basically, yeah, you go around, you collect resources. The ground level down here is going to be dangerous. Probably you can't access it at most times, so most of the time you're going to be in these sort of island parts. Let me get my links posted to the Discord before I forget. Hey, Kieran in the YouTube chat. What's up? Good to see you again, man. Thank you for being here, as always. Kieran, are you part of the Discord yet? Or do you have any interest in it? I'm trying to build up my Discord again. After taking so many breaks from streaming because of just random life stuff that I've had to do, I haven't kept up with the Discord as much as I've wanted, so then I'm trying to kind of build it back up and get it more active. For a while, it was actually pretty active, but I want to get people, posting their own projects, that sort of thing, if possible. I'll post the link in the YouTube chat. If you would love to join the Discord, perfect. I'll post it here. Let me know if you see it. I know sometimes YouTube blocks even my links, but it might not be the case since I'm posting from the correct account there. But yeah, if you want to join, you can jump in there. At least you'll get, notifications when I go live. Of course, it seems like you probably already do with your YouTube at least because you jumped in here super fast, so which I love to see. But yeah, if you have any projects that you're working on, I'm not sure if you're trying to remember, are you working on any games? But if you have stuff, artwork to share, games, or questions, or anything like that, you can always post in there. These mountains, I'm trying to think if I want to fully rework the mountain and how I'm going to do it. If I do fully rework it. Or if I should just focus on making more content for the game and figuring it out that way. So what happens when I take the player detect? Let me move outside of the player detect. If I turn it off, okay, then you just slide off. Is that the same when you are on it like this? Okay, yes, you do just slide off. Let me try another thing. What happens if I just add the velocity of the mountain? So if I go here and I go to catch player, okay, and then we go to player, and we just go to physics process. Okay. So we're going over there. Nothing's happening. Okay. What happens if we go right here? Oh, we need to turn back on monitoring and stuff. Save that. Hey, Eternal, what's up? Kieran says, I'm able to join. It's just some mobile glitch. I have to come from PC. Okay. I see. Yeah. If you need it, I think it's also in my YouTube channel description. So at some point, if you need the link again or something, I think it's in there. Otherwise, always, just ask me on the stream again. Eternal says, how's your day been going? It's been going good. Not too bad. Just got off and figured out my mistake. You were just working on something, and then right as you stopped working, you figured out your mistake? Is that what it is? Because that happens to me all the time, I feel like. Okay. So. Oh. Okay. So that clearly doesn't work. That just sticks me to the... Okay. So I can't just plus equals that. Or was I doing plus equals there? Whoops. Let's go back down to here. Let's comment out all of this. Go back to player, plus equals. Okay. Let's try this again. Yeah, Eternal, that happens to me all the time, I feel like. We do have a ad about to start in a few minutes here, just a heads up. Because I was trying to make a turret move with my... Here, let me pick up these real quick. Okay. Turret move with my enemy, so I was just trying one value from the result, and my dumbass was like, why does it need an array? And I realized had to put all the values. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Whoop. Oh! That just pushed me way up. I just flew into the sky. Okay, so then it just does that. Okay, so we can't just do that. We do... What happens if we just set it equal to that? And then we get the move data. Interesting. Now I can't fall. Okay. That doesn't work. Man, we gotta figure this out. For everything I do, I just love comparing values. Yeah. Sky's looking really pretty though, the night sky. Yeah, I really do like that. There's some glitchiness with it still, but I'm a fan of the, it's just Sky 3D, which you can use with Godot. That's the plugin. Okay, I feel like we have to fully rework what we're thinking. So we have our mountain. We have a player on top, right? When he moves, the player needs to move with him. Be like kind of stuck to him. Right now, they're both character bodies, which doesn't really work. What if I do what happens when I just reparent him? Made a beautiful background for a space game in Blender. I got red nebulas and stars. It took me so long to make. That sounds sick, though. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're still sliding. Okay, that does work to like make us... Oh. Then our movement is all wonky. No. Why am I still moving with him? And my movement's still weird. Everything is backwards. Oh, is it just my rotation that got messed up? I think so. Yeah, I think rotation got messed up, maybe? I baked it and I used it in a game jam. Do you think I should release it? If you're doing if you have a game jam, release whatever you can. Okay, I still move around weirdly when he stands up. Yep, because it's rotating me weirdly every time he rotates. And then I fall and I land like that. That's weird. Oh, just the skybox. Yeah. That would be cool. So I can't just reparent without some weirdness happening. Man, I'm really trying to figure out how I can do this correctly. What was it with rigid bodies? Game is low poly style, but your light system is beautiful. I could never do something like that. It's such a little detail, but I love it. Yeah, I like the way that it works with. It's kind of interesting having this low poly style with still a really like cool sky and stuff. I do like that quite a bit. I wonder if some of this stuff is we have this, I see. Maybe that's doing it. Oops. The problem with wanting to work on this is that I don't know if I'll make any headway. And I want to make progress, whereas making things like islands is pretty easy. But I really think I need to figure this out. Problem is, I know I've tried this many, many times. Like the way you have it optimized with the light refracting between. Honestly, all that is just this plugin that I'm using, Sky 3D. So you can give all the credit to the creators of Sky 3D because I've just messed around with settings really. If I do that stuff in Blender, it's so laggy. I've never really tried to do anything with lighting and stuff in Blender. But yeah, this plugin is great because I just basically plugged it in and added some fog and messed around with some settings and it just works great. What's wrong with it? So this mountain, the issue I'm running into is right now I have literally like a separate player that takes over once you jump on top of the mountain. That way, when the mountain moves, you don't slide off, because this player is always connected to the mountain. And it works almost flawlessly until you get things like you walk up to an island to jump off, and then there's this weird space in between where you're still connected to the mountain. So if it's swaying, then you're swaying even if you're not on it. And then there's other things like, that's fine, I could just make it smaller, but then what if you build out your platform over here? You build your base out and make a deck that goes around the mountain. Then it's like, well, now you've gone outside of this range, and now you slide off of the whatever you built. So I really need to figure out how exactly I can do this. It basically needs to be Sea of Thieves style, where you can go directly from the ocean to a ship and you just start moving along with it. And when you jump, you don't, fly off the back of the ship. But it's a surprisingly hard thing to do. Yeah. I do have a custom collision box based off the mesh, so that's what you see here, which is fine, but it doesn't like drag you along, If it's a rigid body, then it kind of does, but then there's other issues with that, because I also have this thing is animated, and I think that's the biggest issue. Like normally, if it wasn't animated, if it just floated, then maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal, but it's animated, so it's tough. And I've already built so much stuff around it, I might want to go ahead and I might want to go ahead and where's this agent type? I don't think this is a real thing. Yeah, what was I even thinking about? Okay, this is the movement. I'm going to create a new scene that is a rigid body. Okay. Collision shape. We're going to do a box shape. Make it 4x4. Let's add a CSG box. Same size so then we can see it. Then we have this middle click. we're going to do some very simple state here. What does the ampersand thing mean? That's just like checking and. So if I want to say if walking and standing, you know, I could do and like this, A and D, or I could do this, the double ampersand. And that basically is like if both of these things are true, you know. Okay, we're going to do a nav target. Three. Then we're gonna, let's see. Okay. Transition to walking. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do a transition to idle. We're just going to have walking and idle. Oh. Okay, we need to move this using Okay, now because I don't know how to do rigid body movement, let's go to I have this code in Godot. Never use that, I just use and. Oh yeah, I mean and is fine. Sometimes I'll use both at random times and there's no real rhyme or reason to it, so no worries there, Eternal. Want to move this rigid body in the direction of the nav target. Do on the X, Y, or X, Z chords now don't need to match the height. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go here and we're going to drag in our mountain scene. Just see what happens. Use the ridiculous coding. Apply central force, the vector 3. Yep. Ridiculous coding add-on. It's very good. I haven't used that. I do not know what it is, but seems interesting. Where's the player? Okay, let's try this. Oh, this already has one. Okay. We'll go here. Get rid of that. Gets a little annoying after a while. Oh, okay. Adds typing effects and helps with my ADHD. Okay. Oh, this thing... Dang, see, like, this is the issue, right? I can get it to move. Get a moving platform. Okay, let's do 0 gravity. Now it's moving along fine. Let's make it not... needs to not run into anything. Like when you hit backspace, there's an explosion effect. Okay. Okay. See, this is nice and smooth. But the moment I jump... So if I go to here, moving platform, okay. Still makes me fly backwards. How come I can't fly? I swear, for some reason, sometimes I can fly and sometimes I just can't. Why can I no longer fly? Player. Probably has something to do with the mountain. Oh, maybe the catch player and all this stuff. Let's go to main and let's remove the mountain. I really want to figure this out. Let's grab this mountain, bring him up here. Walking mountain, we're going to delete. See what happens. Yeah, now I can fly. I think it was having to do with the walking mountain. But you still fly. Okay. Propagate their velocity, but this is not a velocity. This thing is still moving. The movement code would need to be changed. I think we would have to redo our whole character controller too. What all would break if I changed the player into a... all of the movement would break. Let's cancel this. Let's commit. Before breaking character. Not just have to apply the same logic for when you jump. I'm not doing any logic here, that's the thing. I'm just changing the mountain into a rigid body to see if I can get it to where basically when the mountain is moving, I should move with it, right? Which, as a rigid body, it does that. But then when I jump, it doesn't know that I'm on a moving platform. Because rigid bodies don't have velocity, they just have their physics. Velocity is like when you're moving something with code, which is how I'm doing it in the old version, but the old version doesn't work for all of my cases. So it's this weird problem. Maybe I need to change the player to a rigid body, which then breaks a billion things. Oh. Okay, maybe. This is the movement agent for the player. Okay, let's go to AI again. I have this movement script meant for a character body 3D. Change it A for rigid body 3D instead. Let's see what happens. Okay, you shouldn't be able to rotate on either of those. AI stuff. Global position not. Node 3 of resource this node 3D. Space state. There we go. Think that works? Okay. We'll see. It was so quiet. Yeah, I wish I could have it. Oh, dictionary. Okay, so we have that. If we're on floor. Actually, let's grab all this. Now we get to go through and do all of these. Okay. Then we get to do all the doubles. Then we get to do all the singles. I should just have Cursor doing all of this stuff for me, but I don't think I have Cursor anymore. Okay. Linear velocity not. It's player dot. Where's linear? Okay. What is movement force? Float. Okay. Friction force. Vector 3. All the static typing. Yeah. Okay, let's see what breaks. Everything's going to break. Don't worry. Yep. Player.console. Why is that breaking? Because we need to reassign the player. Why am I rotating weirdly? I do have movement and I can look around. But I am rotating randomly. Dang, I can still even do all of this stuff. Okay, I'm in flight mode. Why am I unable to, Oh, now I'm moving like crazy. Getting spun. Because I hit that weirdly? Oh, you know what? I don't think my turning... Shoot, maybe I need to also lock my angular Y. Because I'm just rotating myself. Okay, now there's no rotation. Sick. Now I just need to figure out why my... Okay. There's a lot of friction on this thing. So it will grab me, but... Yeah, I'll just keep it like this. Okay, so I slide on it a bit. Oh, but I can't move forward unless I go way faster. This is interesting. I actually probably could get this character body to work a little better. It'd be fine. I would just I think what I need to do is movement agent, need to go here. What is air control? I don't necessarily want you to have less control in the air. Hmm. Okay, so this can't be just changed to a... Oh, let's add a child node. Static body. Okay, so that's fine. So if we have this 3D. Okay, what happens if it's a rigid body and I'm a... Oh. Change that back down to 0. Man, I really want to figure this out and get it working. Then we need to rebuild the whole mountain itself, but... Okay, and then I just fly off. I just continually slide off. Okay. So we'll put that back on. But there's no friction. Why is there no friction? I thought there would be friction on these things. Do I still fly off this thing? When it's a... Okay, I need to adjust my speed. Yeah, that's times sprint speed. Okay. Let's double my speed and see how it looks. Oh. But you still end up flying off of this thing or moving at a different rate when it's moving. And when you jump, you just come right off of it. Come on. Why? Where was I seeing like friction? I have no idea. Let's turn off can sleep. Goodness sakes. Now when I jump, I fly backwards. So continuous. Okay. So it's a little more precise. Oh my goodness. But then I can't jump. We're going to change this type to a character body. We're going to do a test dot velocity, or oh shoot, no. Let's just change the whole thing to a character body. Okay, I need to make a player movement. If direction, central force, friction force. This doesn't seem to do anything. Oh. Now it's doing something. The footsteps are all messed up, but I see. Okay, what's up, RCB? Now where is Delta being used? Just there. Let's see what happens. I'm breaking everything today. Coding more art? Kinda. Okay. Integrate forces is not where that's going to be. I don't know what integrate forces does, but I really need to know how to do these. Okay. Trying to make your character jump while something is moving. Yep. Okay. Oh. Now, where's my on-floor thing? try that. Okay, so I can't jump if it's 0.6. Can't jump if it's at 1.5. Okay. There I could jump once. Oh my goodness. 10.5. Come on. So right now it's empty. Okay, so it's just, I just need to find the right height. From okay. Okay, now we're working again. Where did that thing go? Right there. Oh my goodness, I hate the movement in these. So if I jump, I stay moving with it slightly, not fully. Now it thinks I'm walking. And the movement is all wonky in the first place. How are you tracking the movement and the position of the object? I'm not doing any of that. That's what I'm trying to do, is not have to track it. But I just don't think I'm going to be able to. I think it's just, I'm going to have to track everything. And this rigid body controller is just not what I'm looking for. Yep, so I jump and then I'm just still attached to this thing. Because it doesn't have any velocity to inherit. Now, if I go to this mountain thing, change it to a... Oh, it currently still is a character body. How does add upward do? Let's try this again. I do get something, but it's just not enough. It's like I get a little bit of momentum, but just not actually. Let's do nothing and see how that changes it. Trying to make a platformer? No, I'm just trying to get my walking mountain to behave well. But I just can't get it to do what I want. So we're going to go to main. We're going to drag the walking mountain back in. I'll show you what my issues are. Okay, I get up on the mountain. Everything is great. I go over here. Oh, this thing's now going to be following us around. But anyway. Okay, everything's great. I build the base on top. Everything's cool. I'm jumping. Everything's fine. I'll wait until it's light. Everything works like impeccably well. Everything is just great. I can place things on here, blah, blah, blah. But what happens when I build out like this? Oh, uh-oh. Now I can't build out far enough, which is fine. You know, maybe you can't build out that far, except for the fact that it is building it somewhere. I don't know where that one went, but it's somewhere out there. I think it's over by the world origin. But anyway, so we build the platform out. But now if I tell the mountain to move over here, I just fall off. So unless you're directly above the mountain, there are these points where you will just suddenly no longer be trackable like that. Now, that would be totally fine. I could just extend the range where you're detectable or counted as, you know, part of the mountain, so then it will drag you along with it. But then what happens if you go, you know, over here? So like right now I'm not on the mountain, so I'm not moving with it. But if I bring the mountain over closer, now I'm on the island. But when the island or when the mountain moves, oh, never mind. Let's stay right here. So like right here, now I'm moving with the island. Or with the mountain. I keep mixing up my own terms. But there's just this weird spot where like you'll fall off of it. And I have no idea how to do this correctly. We have this check if on mountain. Okay, we're going to try this. So, maybe we just use it to release the player. And then in the mountain, maybe we try this. Tracking it isn't too difficult. You just need to subtract the global transform with the last position. Delta the last position. Collider setup. And then move direction. Platform velocity. So I was doing just adding velocity, but what was the issues I was running into there? Maybe there's something to do that. But then it doesn't necessarily work because it's also an animated thing. So, and the animations don't have velocity. They're just animations. So then if the mountain is moving up and down like that, whereas like the riding body is currently parented to one of the animation bones, the main one. And that solves like all of the animation stuff. I don't know, maybe we'll see here. Okay. Can I please get up on this thing? Okay. Maybe this does it. Nope. Fly off again. Why? Let's go right here. Oh, I can still fly when I'm on this thing? Nope. All it is that I'm no longer inside. Okay. That's because I wasn't entering the zone again. So that works right there. Then I need to find another way of catching. So I should be in the zone. Nice, I'm not. Okay, that does work right there. Parenting the player to the objects. No, that doesn't quite work to do that. I'm basically... There is a separate character controller that lives on top of this mountain. And then when you jump on top of the mountain, that character controller is what takes over, and it is parented to the mountain. And then the player just matches the movement of that. So it just... Another character controller is the one doing the moving right now. Okay, so now I just need to find a way to detect that we should be back on the mountain when I jump back on top. Like right here, it should detect again. Which maybe I can do this. Maybe we can try something like this. Maybe this actually works to just restructure it this way. It still doesn't quite work because I think we can, yeah, we can still fly off. Why can we still fly off? Are we just not detecting? Catch. Yeah, sorry, RCB. It's hard to explain the system because it is so complicated. Catch. Nice. Why am I still catching, though? We're only catching, like, every little bit. Negative 0.5. 0.0. Maybe we do something like that. Maybe our raycast just wasn't accurate enough. Dude, it might be okay. Stay fine when near the center. Yep. Just restructuring it a little bit. So now I detect when the player is near and we catch the player. Then we check if we should still be caught by the mountain, in the mountain's gravity, if you will. By just casting a raycast down. So like right now we are caught, but we shouldn't move. Well, there we got dragged. But that's fine. Dude, if this works, I'm going to be so happy. It's seeming like it's working. I think we just needed the raycast to originate a little bit higher because it wasn't being very consistent. This is huge because that means I could probably... Oh. Yes. Look at that. And I can still jump. But the moment I step off... Oh, now I'm falling. And there will be a little bit of glitchiness. I'm doing it with a Area 3D and a raycast. So there is an Area 3D that is around this. That detects when you first get into the area. Ooh, you know what I just realized, though? Am I still parented to it? Yes. If it's null, then we catch the player. That's so much better. Basically, if we don't have a current mountain, then we catch the player and we only release him here rather than leaving the area. That's big. Oh, there's a weird light glitch again. Dude, I think it's good to go. Oh, man, that's huge. That is, it's still not perfect. Like, if I walk off this, I don't want to snap to falling like that. I don't care, though. So as long as I'm on top of this thing and my momentum is, whoops, the same. Literally, it was just the raycast, because I had tried this solution before and it wasn't working, and so I gave up on it. But I think it was just the raycast wasn't originating from high up enough. It's getting there, yeah, for sure. It's definitely way better than it was before. Ah, that's some weirdness. You can still just create a floating. Oh. Okay. One thing that is annoying me. The snapping is a bit weird with the when you're building. Yeah, I think so. If I go to the player, is it in the hammer? No, it's in the build preview. This is in the process. I wonder if we can do this in the... physics process. Would that change anything? Oh, dang. Literally, that's all that needed to change. Let's craft a small box and see if the placeables should be in there too. Well, that's dope. That seems mostly fine. Man, a couple big things already figured out. RCB, thank you for sticking with me while I bumble my way through this. We are making progress. Quite a bit. Now you can build a deck around with various exit points. Okay, I need to get over to this island over here. Oh, we don't have enough stone for that. Ooh. Oh boy. This is another fix that we need to do. Uh-oh. I must have accidentally deleted that. I did. Okay, it looks like it was right there. Okay. Is there a way to blend the velocity so it fades out after you leave the platform so you still have some of the velocity? I could do that, yeah. Yeah. There's a way I could do that. I'm not going to worry about figuring it out quite right now, because I don't necessarily mind this like a go. Yeah, it's not terrible. Oh, the speed on the mountain, because the mountain has a different... No, that should be the same. What was I going to check? Oh, I was going to do this. Add item, axe. Add item, pickaxe. It's a pretty smooth transition. Dude, it's working. Now we've got our massive platform. which then also just goes through trees in islands. So we'd probably want to figure something out so then this doesn't happen. But one of the ways we could do that is just by doing a distance check, being like, hey, you can only build so far out. Or just make them break when you run into things, but that might be a little difficult. And we could always add, when we change the movement, we could always make it so everything you add adds to the collision shape of this thing, and then when you drive it around, it'll just run into things over and over again. MC26, thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck to you as well. Oh. I love just seeing this thing walk around with the base on it. But yeah, we will just need to figure out how to make it not run into these things and have the deck go straight through it. But otherwise, we're doing pretty good, to be honest. I think we're getting somewhere. But I probably need to get off now. I know I've only been streaming for 2 hours. I haven't been able to stream a crazy amount. But I probably should bounce. Man, it's so nice to have that at least partially figured out. Next on the item list, we'll be doing more of these islands, and also, oh, let's get rid of this. Basically, we need to make this area dangerous. We also need to make more islands. And then we may just need to make a giant map or something. Not really sure. Or we make it procedural and figure out how to do that. Okay, let's act like Let's act like all we started with is 100 wood and 50 stone, right? So we got our axe crafting, we got our pickaxe and our hammer crafting. Okay, sweet. We got these. Chop down a tree. Maybe we get a warning. Oh, the mist is coming, or the floods. Jump up onto our guy. Okay, that's really annoying. There we go. Get up here. Build the little base. Okay. So, okay, we got over here. Open the door. Jump out. Go collect more wood. Okay. Go right here. Collect more. Maybe fight some things on these islands. It's like, oh no, this is kind of hard to get around. We build a little platform. Okay. Yeah, all right. It's coming together. Except for that part, but we'll ignore that. Hmm. Well, that's just something that's going to happen. I don't want to fix that. I'm not going to be changing these things to character bodies. Okay. All right, I got to bounce out. Thank you all for being here. I'm happy with the progress we made. Fixed mountains somewhat, and also jitter on preview. Thank you for the stream. Hey, thank you for being here, RCB. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you as always. Thank you to you as well as Eternal for being here. Appreciate you as well. And in the YouTube chat, Kieran and MC26. Appreciate you guys. Hydrate. Ooh, cheers. Congrats on the progress. Thank you, man. We're getting there ever so slowly, but we are. Just more and more time and effort. But yeah, I will see you all later. Save and commit. I just did that. Oh. I got to do my Duolingo and not lose my 378-day streak. I'll do that right now. Whoops. We are, I think I'm at 378. We'll see here. Maybe it's today is 379. Yep, 379. Anyway, I will see you all later. Have a good one.